What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 6 of the Aiming with podcast series, where we celebrate and showcase talented players in the furry FPS community. In today's episode, we are honored to have Aedenful here as our guest. They are a very, very talented mechanical mouse and keyboard player who's also an insanely cracked Apex Legends content creator for Northern Forces. Aiden, why don't you go ahead and please introduce yourself?
Mainly plays Apex. Yeah, I am a part of Northern Forces as a Apex Legends content creator. Currently just doing kind of like small form content streams, mostly just streaming. Um, I have a very big focus on kind of like the aiming aspect, aiming movement, kind of play style. All the like flashy. If you've ever watched Fade, yeah, that type of stuff.
Hell yeah.
Um,
No,
yeah,
it's
that's
it's an honor to have you here, Aiden. Like I know we talked just like very, very lightly before the podcast, and um I'm very, very grateful to not just have you on here, but to just be able to celebrate your skill and your your attitude. You're a full package player, in my opinion.
mhm.
And I don't think we've had an Apex Legends player here yet on the podcast. So you are literally our
Mhm.
first. How's it feel?
I am honored to be the first Apex Legends player. I hope I won't be the last. Um, and yeah, I feel like there's like a couple of Apex furries that are slowly starting to like make their way up. So I hope to see them here soon too.
No, it definitely won't be the last either.
Yeah.
I think that Apex is too complex and high skill ceiling of a game to not celebrate and showcase more players, especially since you said it yourself that there are way more FPS furries jumping onto the scene.
Hmm.
I think in the time of you and I playing Apex, there has been a very, very small. I feel like there's a small influx of players that's come out of the woodworks,
Hmm.
in waves. Um, I'm trying to think of like who the current wave is, but I know you're more in tune with Apex currently. So
Hmm.
you are definitely more in the know of like who's like new to the scene and who's popping off, who's like
Hmm.
cracked and whatnot too.
Yeah, I've seen my homie Milo. She's been grinding competitive ranked, and she's been getting insanely consistent with the aim, with the play style. There's Basil, uh, who I've recently found really cracked player. I don't know how I've never seen them before. Apparently, they played for a while. There's Shadzi. There's
Shadzi, yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to remember. There's a lot more. I would have to go through like my following.
That's
There's some other peeps
sick.
that popped up too.
I'm gonna have to like pick your brain more on it, through
Mhm.
this podcast and also, just like on some downtime. Because I mean, yeah, you're right. There are so many players. Like I feel very out of touch right now with the Apex scene, and I mean it's both like a kind of like a testament to not playing the game as much, but even when I wasn't playing the game, I would still watch a lot of Apex streamers, and
Mhm.
I would say that even now that I don't watch as much, believe it or not, the players that I still will always watch are whenever, let's say, like you or some other Apex homies are on. I lurk in
Mhm.
your stream a lot. I lurk in Sing's stream all the time.
Mhm.
Um, and then try to think who else. Tyler's I've lurked in his stream a few
Mhm.
times. Um, I don't know if Art has played it in a while. I think Art hasn't
I don't
played
think.
it in a long, long time.
Yeah, I haven't seen Art on Apex in a minute.
Oh, Shadow. How could I
Uh,
forget Shadow? I lurk in Shadow's stream all the
yes.
time when he streams it. But yeah, I mean, this is just like a small list of like, friendos and Apexers that like I both played with and just really, really enjoy watching because they're all cracked. But
Mhm.
You're gonna have to hit me with it, dude.
Yeah, I got you. I've actually started to create this kind of like list, like you know how Twitter has like the list you can build.
Yeah, yeah.
So with the introduction of like Furry FPS, the Twitter account has a list of an ever-growing list of like furries that play FPS, ranging from like CS:GO to Apex
Yes, yes. Please,
finals.
I'm glad
So
that you're talking about this. By the way, sorry to interrupt you, but
mm,
I was very much going to bring this up, and I'm glad that you're elaborating on it. So please, yeah, please
mhm.
elaborate more on Free FPS.
Okay, so Furry FPS was an idea that I had starting last year. I didn't know exactly how to go about going on it. This like past I want to say like 5 months ago.
Mhm.
I went ahead and made the Twitter account. Somehow, luckily snagged the tag Furry FPS, so we were
No
able to get
way,
that on Twitter.
really?
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
that's
just free.
awesome.
So we're starting to build up the Discord server.
Mm,
We're at 75 members now,
let's
and such a short period of time
go.
is actually insanity.
Let's go,
Um,
dude.
but yeah, as I try to build it forward more, I kind of want it to be like a community of being like of sharing or showcasing the furs that are in the community
Mm,
and show their talents within the very games that they play, and in a way kind of like help lift up other players who are kind of like finding their way and needing the resources to kind of um, find their way within competitive gaming. And it's kind of like it's also for the casuals too, who kind of want to join and just have fun. We have some peeps in there that kind of just play pubs and like the finals, Apex, chill out, have a good time, meet new people. I've actually met so many different people now with the server
mm.
than I have like in the past like 2 to 3 years while trying to do gaming. It's actually what I like had hoped would happen, and I hope it will continue to happen for more people.
That's amazing. Everything you're saying is music to my ears because, you know, you've tuned into a few of the podcasts, and a big focus of the podcast is exactly this mission, right, of being able to
Mm-hmm.
showcase the amount of talented players in the furry FPS community. And even yeah, I think you said it best with the acknowledging of different skill levels, because realistically, like, yeah, we play PvP games, and there's always this driving force of like, oh, we have to beat our opponent, therefore we want to be better than the opponent, etc. But the
Mm-hmm.
reality is that gaming at its core is always fun, and we have to celebrate our friendos who just want to jump on the game for funsies. And I love that you have a space already set up for that.
Mm-hmm.
I can at least say this since it's on the podcast, but dude, you have my full support, and I am
Mm-hmm.
so gonna hit you up about this off stream. I would be more than happy to help you with advocating this community space that you've been
Yeah.
working hard to build up. So I'm
Mm.
about it. I'm about it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I'm definitely like gonna have to get some pointers from some peeps too. Since it's like my first time like trying to do it, I'm like kind of like missing out on some certain things. I've had some people in the server actually volunteer to help kind of build it up. Um, I know that how do I say this? Me just with how much I work,
Mhm.
trying to like manage it myself was is going to be hard for sure. So I definitely
Mm.
need to like find those peeps that will be able to help me kind of build it up and make it kind of something that we can all stand for as a community.
That's awesome, and I feel you on that too. I myself am um in a similar spot where I am my own editor right now, and
Hmm.
not only my own editor, but also managing the podcast, and then also trying to multitask with all the other things. It's a forever growing task list. So I get the difficulty of managing a community space, but I think what makes me very very happy is that you have so much support and others trying to really help you advocate this space for a very good cause. And
Mhm.
I'm here for it. So yeah, I'm glad that others are reaching out to you. You got my support. I'm also reaching out to you too about it, dude. I'll definitely be hitting you up about that
Mhm.
for heckin' sure.
For sure
Um,
skis.
is it also a anyone can join type of space, or like
Yeah.
what's the deal on the community with it?
As it stands right now, I kind of want to say it's like anyone can join.
Mhm.
Um, I definitely want to put like some restrictions on some things because furries.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
um, I kind of want to make it to where like anyone can join, regardless of like the game or whatever. I definitely do think there will be like a minimum kind of like um age requirement for sure, just because of safety.
Yeah. Especially in this day and
Um,
age too, you
yeah.
know, like things are crazy on the internet.
Hmm.
So you gotta set some like boundaries just for
Yo.
not just your own safety, but everyone's safety, you know. It's good all
Yes.
around. So
Hmm.
I'm about it, man. That makes me so happy to hear. And I'm glad that, you know, despite how busy you've been, that sounds like it's getting some good traction, you know. It was talked about
Hmm.
I think last podcast and then the episode before that. And I
Hmm.
think if I remember right, someone in the chat was also asking about it as well. They were like, "Oh, like what's this? What is this like community that you're talking about? Or like what's this Discord server,
Hmm.
you know? Like what's the deal about it?" So, I'm like very happy to you know, to kind of spread the word, you know?
Hmm.
But
Yeah, I believe that. Oh, sorry.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
Uh, that person did join the server, and I think they have been active within the server. I think I've seen them around a little bit.
Let's
Um,
go. That's
just with
awesome.
this the small time that I like look at it.
Mm.
But I do know that most people that are in here are like the Kovacs, like Shills,
Yup.
Zudley, Charlie, um, Kari's in there. So the Bobo's in there as well.
That's
I know Bobo's
awesome.
trying to help with it as well.
Yeah, and Bobo is also like into the whole coaching aspect too. So I think it's
Hmm.
really cool. Like all the names you just mentioned off, you know, very familiar with, and I do agree. I think it's really cool that we have so many so many Kovacs nerds and like aim nerds and everything. Because you know, obviously just like Kovacs, it's a very community built up you know thing, and
Hmm.
it's just cool that we have our own little pocket. You know that we're kind of thrown all together. It's really cool to see. But um tell us more about yourself, dude. I'm not just excited to be talking about the
Hmm.
Furry FPS Discord, but I'm also very excited to talk about you because let's face it here. Correct me if I'm wrong. Um I think we've known each other now for roughly about 2.5, almost 3 years. Maybe even
Um,
longer than that, I think, right?
it's a little longer. Well, known each other like I've known you since like the Bangalore the leaderboard grinding days, but
Yeah, you're
like
right. Never mind.
as like knowing each other, I think probably like 3 4 years now.
Dude, you're right. Like, but time is all over the place for me since you know
Ye-
COVID. But
yeah.
I do recall one of our earlier conversations being how you started in
Hmm.
you know Apex and also just as an M&K player. And correct me if I'm wrong. You started your M&K journey through Apex, correct?
Yep. Apex is my first video game. I got my first PC in 2021. It was it was one of those beater PCs. You got like the 1660 Ti with a Core i5
Dang.
7400U. So that thing was struggling. It was struggling.
That's crazy. Yeah, an i5, especially for Apex. Like this game has always been demanding, but also it's never
Hmm.
been properly optimized. So you just got like double whammy there. That's crazy.
Yeah, actually.
And like
But
look how much you've grown though in that time
mhm.
of you starting. You know, like just to kind of like commend you on the clips. Like for each podcast episode, I go through everyone's clips just to make sure that like they're working. I'm able to like see
Mhm.
it so that way chat can see it and plays properly for the video. And dude, you are so cracked. Like I am like I'm so happy, but also just like so proud that we are all of the same community. And I'm glad that your passion it really showcases through your gameplay like hardcore. Plus I just think
Mhm.
that you have a very you have a such healthy aspect and attitude when it comes to yeah, I know we're talking about Apex in particular because it's the game that you main, but I
Mhm.
just think that your mental approach is always been very infectious. And
Mhm.
it's admirable. Like I know that like we all have our ups and downs and we have
Mhm.
our plateau moments, but you're still freaking kicking it on Apex. It's astounding.
Yeah, yeah. Apex Legends in the big 205,
It's
like 2025.
it's
Yeah,
6 years old
crazy.
now, right?
Yeah, I think so. I
It's
think it's 6 years
crazy.
old now. The only
Crazy.
like unfortunate fact, I like wish I started a lot earlier because I started in season 7, 2021. So I was late to a little good portions of Apex. Actually, um, I did play season 0.
Oh, hell yeah.
I played at a library because like I lived in Chicago, so our libraries just have like the funding to have a gaming PC for some reason. Um, and I would go there just to specifically play Apex, and I actually have the YouTube like streams that I used to do when I was zero experience on MK. I look at it now and I'm just like, how did I play like that?
We all start somewhere, and I think I remember talking about this with Bobo in particular about how sometimes when you're just starting out on M&K, you don't think about all the factors that we think about nowadays where we're
Hmm.
like, man, our posture, our play space, the way we hold the mouse, like all these things just don't exist. We're just like me hold mouse, me move mouse, me click.
Oh,
you
my
know.
army, it's wiggly. It's wiggle my army. Type. Yeah, but I'm trying to. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Okay, 2021 started PC.
Mhm.
Um, hmm. I don't think I have anything to go off after that.
No, you're good, dude. It's the fun thing about these podcasts, especially since this is episode 6, like I had to like remind myself when I was thinking about like the announcement period of like, oh man, like what episode number are we on? Just like,
Hmm.
what? Episode 6 already? Jesus, dude, where's time going? But and anyways, aside from that, it's really that like it's such a fun kind of casual conversation. And each
Hmm.
episode has been so fun because it's been so many different personalities, but there's been a commonality across every one of the guests. And that's everyone obviously is a talented player in the game that they play. And not only are they talented mechanically, but I think mentally, everyone shines so bright. It's like a big thing that I've
Hmm.
always really talked about is how important the mental game is when it comes
Hmm.
to any PvP game for that matter. And
Hmm.
I know I was just mentioning this a little bit ago, but like you have such a healthy mental. I know that like, in the times that we played or when I've lurked and you're just having like bad game after bad game or like RNG is really like determining a lot or maybe just miss some shots, and you're just doing the little like beating yourself up. We all do it. But the way
Yeah.
that you always go about it, in my opinion, you have such a good approach on how you tackle your um the walls that you hit, so to speak.
Mhm.
So I want to actually ask you what is it that you think about when you are performing bad, having a bad string of games? Like what's going through your mind and how do you like combat that?
Okay. Whenever I'm gonna like do it in like two sections, I guess.
Hmm.
So if I'm performing bad in aim, um, I think the first thing like I do is I have to catch myself because like I'll immediately go like, dang, I suck, I'm bad, I'm this, I'm that,
Hmm.
and then like I have to like catch myself like I'm an MK player in a video game where the bullets sometimes do not hit where you're actually aiming.
It's tough. It's very, very tough on the mental for sure.
Yeah. Um, but I have to like realize that like, hey, I'm still like growing. I'm still like becoming more consistent, and I just got to keep working at it. The second one would be I guess mindset and like game sense kind of like playing bad. That's when like it's the same thing. So it like flips to the dang, I suck. But then you have to like kind of like step back and like look at it from a different perspective and think like, is there really anything that I could have done that would have changed the outcome of like how we played?
Mm.
If I died to something that was uncontrollable,
Mm.
then it is what it is. GG's goes next. If I had died because I made a mistake, I have to like realize that and consciously think and remember not to try and make that same mistake again.
That's a very, very good way of putting it. And also just looking at it too. Um, how do you, I mean, you're just mentioning this a little bit ago when you look at like your gameplay now, or you just kind of have a moment of reflecting on like where you started to where you are now. Do you ever have moments of, just being very, very proud of the hard work that you've put in, and then like kind of balance it with like a wow, how did I get here moment, like how often do those happen, or does that even happen for you?
It yeah, it does. Thanks to like Google Photos, because like for some odd reason I will download the videos on my phone. So Google Photos will every once in a while just throw up a clip and be like, "Hey, this was like 2 years ago. You did this," and I'm like, I'll look at it and I'm just like, "That was me. Oh my god, I'm like so much better now. That's actually insane."
it blows
Um,
my mind seeing your gameplay, like it's another big part I love about these podcasts is like, with all the clips playing in the background and stuff. Dude, like I talk about this so much on my stream, and I'm always grateful for how insanely sweet and supportive, not just my community, but like you and so many friends have been throughout the years of like, just hitting me with compliment after compliment. Like, man, Dor,
mm.
like you're so correct at Apex, this and that and that. Dude, I see your gameplay. I see Baron's gameplay. I've always seen you guys. I'm like, bro, why do I feel like I'm playing in slow mo whenever I watch you guys? Like that. That's genuinely how I feel. Especially like watching some of these clutch kills that you got, man. Like, dude, you work hard for it, man, and it shows. It's really really cool to see.
That tweaker caffeine name.
I love when you say that, it makes me think of the Kovacs kit, the like trying to beat PBs, like getting
Mm.
started kit or whatever. Like, all
Oh
right, guys, we
yes,
going in
the
on this.
Adderall, the what is it? 43 cm
43
per
cm, yeah.
360. Which is funny enough, that's my sensitivity.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Oh
I
man.
actually ripped it. I ripped it from Shroud. So
Hey, we all gotta
and
start
then I just
somewhere,
like,
man.
yeah, and it's just worked for me. So I always just use it.
Dang, that's sick. I'm glad that you mentioned the sensitivity thing, because
Mhm.
one of the things I always like to talk about with each guest is more of like a delve into peripherals, and with you being the big aim nerd and Kovaxer that you are, um, I imagine this is a pretty fun subject. So
Mhm.
that being said, I'm gonna pop this question, and then I actually want to read off our first chat question too. But
Okay.
what current peripherals are you playing on right now? Like mouse and keyboard.
So so I am currently on my Final Mouse Starlight 12. Don't buy a Final Mouse mouse. You will have like pain and suffering.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, I had to my girlfriend fixed my mouse, but the specific colorway that I got has a bugged scroll wheel.
No
So you have
way.
to like replace the encoder and whatnot.
Mm.
Um, but I'm also pairing it with the Artisan Raiden Mid and a Steel Series. What is this keyboard called again? Hold on. It's the one that's supposed to be comparable to Wooting. I don't remember what this one's called.
Oh, is it a Newfie by chance or no?
No, it's the Steel Apex Mini.
Oh, the Apex Mini.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
Uh,
fire key. Oh, okay, okay. I see you.
mhm. And then I'll like interchangeably switch my mice.
Mhm.
So, I either use the Beast X or that's my girlfriend's mouse,
Hell
and
yeah.
then my Beast X Mini. I'm trying to think of. I actually want to get a different mouse since I'm starting to like swap to more full fingertip grip, so I want a kind of smaller mice. I already
Oh,
love small
okay.
mice, but I need something smaller.
I forget
Um,
what grip are you as well? Because you just mentioned that where you're
um,
kind of changing over.
yeah. So it was like a hybrid between fingertip and claw, where I would like have it like slightly curled to where part of it was touching my palm,
Hmm.
but out enough to where I can like move my fingers like in a circle and kind of use my palm as like a stability point.
Hmm.
Um, and that's how I would play. And it was like a fingertip into claw, like if I needed more stability, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. I feel that as a ex claw gamer. Because
Mm-hmm.
I have also made that change too. I'm always very invested in hearing how others grips are because there's so much to always like take away from it. And
Mm-hmm.
as a M&K player, I feel like we're always looking for ways to improve. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious about like what sort of obstacle you hit where it kind of like started pushing you to think about your mouse grip and the adjustment that you're making to your current one. Because um mine was more of the over time kind of like tension points and not
Mm-hmm.
wanting to hit a carpal tunnel potential.
Yeah, I
So
definitely feel that.
but what
Um,
would you say is yours?
Mine definitely had to have been so like my weakness is my arm,
Mhm.
funnily enough. I have more control in my wrist and fingertips.
Mhm.
So me swapping to more of like a fingertip like style uh will probably like help fill out that like arm weakness.
Mhm.
But I also don't want to like do it just to do it. I also want to like work on my arm because if I fix that, it would just make my aim a lot more consistent.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of what else would be the mouse shapes. So actually, I think I hold my mice different.
Mhm.
Um, just depending on the mouse because they all have different shapes on the sides. Mice like the final mouse or like the Beast X Mini, which are almost the same shape.
Mhm.
Um, Definitely have a better feel in my hand.
Hell yeah. Do you like the like bigger arches on the backs themselves, or do you prefer it like
Um,
a little bit like smaller?
I prefer it smaller, like smaller, flatter mice
Mm.
with like I think it's called a concave
Yeah,
in
concaved,
the
yep.
sides. So I like the concave in the sides. Actually, the one clip is showing the final mouse right now,
Yeah, I was about to
where you can see
say,
the yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you
That's
can
what you're currently using, yeah?
yes, that's what I'm using right now. It kind of shows the like concave sides
Mm.
because with my fingertips, my pinky likes to like sit out really far
Mm.
like back, and having that like curve helps me like situate it on the mouse
Oh yeah, I
and just
see.
kind of
You
like
kind of
be
rest
able
your
to like grip
thumb
it.
like a little bit more like inward, right?
Yep.
Kind of do that little bit of claw there.
hmm I think that's when I was doing the hybrid. I'm like, if you were to take that mouse now, my fingers would be like towards the behind the scroll wheel, like my pointer fingers.
Mm.
So it's a lot further forward now with full fingertip.
Oh
But yeah, that
wow.
was the kind of like hybrid grip because you'll see me like kind of move my fingertips sometimes.
I love it. This is actually it's the big like thing that I love about mouse cams or hand cams is just that like a lot of people who may or may not like watch FPS are probably always confused when they see a hand cam. And I know some have definitely voiced it as like, oh, it's are they just like shy, don't want to show their face. It's like no,
hmm
there's definitely an art to it. It's
Mhm.
helpful for many who are trying to learn or trying to improve or anything like that. So yeah, in this case, I love being able to see, your hand cam because dude, we also get to see you like working you're selling the glass pad, yeah? Or right there you were.
I no, that right there is a Razer Strider.
Oh, is
I'm
that
never
really?
using that mouse again. I'm never using that mouse pad again. Um,
Really?
but I've thought about swapping back to the Artisan. I'm not the Artisan, the SkyPad,
Mhm.
just because it's so much smoother of a experience for tracking,
Mhm.
and it just like it feels like I have better like maneuverability.
Mhm.
However, the stability is like the trade off.
I see, I see. Hey, I
Mhm.
mean that's awesome though that you've been like experimenting with so many different peripherals. I mean that's also
Mhm.
the beauty of being well, I guess you could say it's a blessing and curse of being such an advocate for improvements is we're always just cycling through so many different things, and I'm starting to find myself
Mhm.
kind of doing that right now too. So I feel it hardcore.
When you got the hobby that requires $1,000 buy-in.
Gosh, dude. Hey, if it makes you feel any better, think about all the other hobbies that are out there. I think our hobbies of the lower end of expensive
Mhm.
comparatively,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it does hurt when we're going through all these different, tools and peripherals and whatnot. So, I'm actually gonna read off one of the chat questions here though. This one
Mhm.
actually comes from Nefarious Nova. They are asking, yo, big melee game player here for Honor Sekiro, Elden Ring Rivals. What are your personal opinions on playstyles like that, especially in stuff like hero shooters, where melee is a faceted playstyle that coexists with aiming playstyles?
Uh, I'm trying to like figure out what that means slightly.
Yeah, I can also like kind of reword it because like I understand what they're saying. So to
Mhm.
to simplify it, um, I think what they're getting at is, you know, what's your opinion on the way melee um coexists alongside with, let's say for example, like guns, weapons, things like that. Like what do you feel, is your take on that? Cuz and if I'm also understanding this too correctly, is that when you have melee abilities or like a melee, perfect example is there was the Buster Sword events
Ah.
in Apex, and so obviously Buster Sword and melee was also the hot topic that we as
Mhm.
Apex players can never forget about. um and that we were all
Yes.
questioning like why is there like such crazy auto aim on it or lock on this and that. So I think it's actually a very, very hot topic, and
Okay.
that's, obviously there's very, very strong opinions around it. So,
Yeah. I feel like it's good to a certain degree. Like the way it is now, although it kind of sucks sometimes, like it just never hits. If you don't have a weapon or what I do sometimes is people will like try and fight me on doors.
mm,
So it's a good way to push them away and then like capitalize on the space. As far as like the Buster Sword, if they don't overtune it, I don't think I don't feel like it mixes with the like game well,
mm,
just because of like how it works and it require it, like you get like damage reduction holding like a right click and then you run up at somebody and you punch them
mm,
and it does knockback, so it
mm.
like throws off their aim.
Yeah.
I don't think it mixes for a gun game.
No, it's very, very fair. I mean, this is, again, it's all valid opinions, which is why I think it's such an interesting topic because obviously we have many that are the opposite side of the spectrum who are like, no, I'm for it, or like, oh, I think it's
Yeah.
fine, this and that. But I think the reality is that I will always be a humble believer in that I very much am about balance. Obviously, balance is very, very difficult, right? If things were easier to balance, then it wouldn't be such a problem. But
Mhm.
I do agree that in some facets, I do think that melee is fine to an extent. It just, that it just requires a lot more acknowledgments of proper mechanics that will negate the amount of like OP-ness to
Mhm.
certain elements of like melee being like, for example, like knockback, a flash on your screen, right? Like the visual
Mhm.
clutter, things like that. There are so many ways of like being able to like, handle it. But I think in this case, since we are talking specifically about Apex, I've always felt that melee was pretty overtuned. I don't know how it is now because I haven't played it in a long time. But um I'd imagine that it doesn't seem to be as bad right now because I know they lowered the lock on value and the amount of distance that you can hit someone with. So
Mhm.
I don't know I don't know how it is in its current state though. Like what do you think of it right now?
I don't like they brought the power sword, which is like toned down Buster Sword. Um and nobody played that game mode. I'm not gonna you like tried it once and then like went to regular pubs.
Wait,
So
so
I
the
don't
power sword is back? That's crazy.
yeah, it was an LTM. It isn't now.
Yeah.
They like moved it out and brought in solos and then whatever this EPG rampage is now.
Oh, the EPG. Oh man, that's I forgot that that was a thing right now. Um
Mhm.
so actually just kind of like reiterate what Nefarious was saying. Um, they said, I just meant your opinions on melee playstyles and characters as a person who is focused on aim.
Um, Opinion on melee play styles and characters as a person who focus on aim. Um, is this like a Punisher v Magic? Is that what that is? In a way, I don't know if I'm like still misunderstanding it.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again? Sorry, my cat was going a little crazy.
It's fine. Is this like Magic and Marvel versus
Mm.
like Punisher?
Yeah.
Is that like what that is?
I'm thinking something kind of like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I feel like just from playing Marvel Rivals, it's fine because it really like has to do with like your knowledge of how the character works
Mm.
and playing against like Magic's as Punisher.
Yeah.
I can kind of use my smoke to get away out of their combos and then just like aim. So I don't have a problem with like mixing the two.
Mm.
Definitely, definitely more balanced than Apex.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think there's like anything inherently like bad about it.
No, that's fair. That's totally fair. Gosh, I have yet to try Rivals with you too. That's another game that would be
Mhm.
fun to run it down on sometime.
I usually get stuck on Luna.
You get stuck on Luna?
Everybody else plays DPS.
No, you know what you have to start doing is just full confidence, just lock in the DPS you want to play. Let everyone else figure it
Mhm.
out if they care about it, you know.
Yeah.
At least that's how it's worked for me. I might just be getting lucky
Mhm.
too.
Yeah, I
um
don't
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't really play it that often because like Apex.
Apex is the main squeeze, dude. I
Yeah.
respect it. How many hours do you have in Apex now? Like where are you currently sitting at
I
if you look at Steam?
Steam says I have 6.7K. If we
Shit.
include like my alt account and then whatever hours were on Origin,
Mhm.
I am pretty sure I'm like halfway 7K, like 7.4, 7.5.
Dang, 7.5. That's crazy, dude. I mean, but
Yeah.
look at how you are now. You've leveled up like a crap ton since
Yeah.
when we first started playing up until like now. And you're always cracked too, so it's cool
Mm,
to see, dude. I love it.
mhm.
I'm actually gonna pop another question over from chat. This one
Okay.
comes from Tyler.
Mhm.
They're asking, what's been the most memorable moment you've had in your play and why?
Most memorable moment. Um, Shoot. I Okay. I feel like Apex is like Hmm. I don't have like a very memorable moment, but I have like a bunch of like small moments where like gaming with the homies and like just general like having fun
Mm,
is like what I get out of Apex. Since I haven't really like delved into like big competitive or like high tier ranked or like winning like any big tournament, I don't think I have anything that's like highly memorable for me right now.
mm,
Um but just like the experience that I have playing with the homies is like the best experiences for me currently. Cuz like the game always has something wacky and funny happen or whenever we have like bugs. It's just that's the memorable moments for me.
mm. No, it's a really, really good point. You know, you saying that actually just reminded me of when your clips were playing. There's one particular one on Olympus where we were fighting at God, I'm forgetting the name of the POI, but basically the towers, and we're fighting on the bridge. It's like you, me, and I can't remember who our third was, but I actually genuinely remember that moment, even though that was like one of the many moments that we've played.
Mm,
And yeah, you're right. Like anytime that you play with friends, even if it's like the same friend that you've played with like over and over and over again, I definitely do feel like those moments stand out a lot more, even if you're not playing
mhm,
competitive. Because the reality is that like if you are playing, by yourself, obviously you're kind of like more in your head if you have like a good game, a bad game, whatever. If
yeah.
you're like suffering with the homies though, you remember that. And you'll always
Yeah.
remember when, the conversation like, man, remember that time we played together? And then you start thinking about it, it's like, oh my god, those games were so cursed, or like you don't forget those. It may kind
Mhm,
of be a blurred feeling of like how cursed or how fun the games were, but we don't forget the feeling that we have when we play with
mhm,
others. And I do think that's actually it's very, very fascinating to me that despite how many hours you have in Apex and how cracked you are at the game, that's there's not like a particular standout aha moment, but
mhm.
rather you have all that time in the game, and I can't fathom your amount of skill and talent not going into like a tournament of some sort or like an event or whatever. Because I feel like if
Yeah.
you were either A, IGLing, or B, you were, just kind of fragger and just following orders, I feel like, dude, you would pop the heck off. That's
Mhm,
just me personally.
mhm. Yeah, it's for me, it's just like my work schedule has never ever lined up with anything that happens in Apex.
Mm.
It's always at like 7 p.m., which is in the middle of my shift, or just like on days where it's just like won't work out.
Oh, ref, dude. Has there ever
That's
been
the
like
work
an
life for
Apex
me.
event or like tournament that you did have to skip out on recently because of work?
It's it was a this is more of like I don't know. I don't want to call it tier two, but
Mm.
it also wasn't like there was good players in the tournament. It was me, Shadow, and Lynxus when we did scrims and we
Lynx's. Dang, that's a name I heard in a minute too.
yeah, Lynxus has been around. Still streaming here and there. But we were playing together as a competitive squad and my work schedule they changed the days that the days happen
Mm.
and I wasn't able to like participate and like if we like went up a whole nother division and like even if we find like a third it's not going to be the same, so
Mm.
we just kind of like dropped the entire thing, unfortunately.
No. Oh, that saddens me, but I get it. I totally understand the struggles of the balance of responsibility. It do be real.
Hmm.
Have you been desiring to like play any tournaments that are coming up or like competitively?
Not currently. I haven't really been looking for like any competitive things right now just
For
because
sure.
like I'm just like I'm focused on working right now. and like getting other things together. One thing that I was that I still am like trying to do is like improve my like solo gameplay to
Mm-hmm.
drop like high kill, high damage games and kind of be like the furry fade if you want.
Hell yeah, dude. Hey, I believe
But
it. It's
I
possible.
gotta I gotta like put more work into that.
Well, so to elaborate on that more, I love hearing your goals and what you're kind of focusing on because I think this is a very very hot topic in FPS or not even just in FPS particularly, but like in all gaming where I feel like there's these three different tiers of or
Mm-hmm.
not tiers but like sections of players and where they all kind of reside in. There is
Mm-hmm.
the casual aspect, right? That kind of just like a big melting pot of like whatever you want out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the content creator side, and then there's the competitive player side.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like all three of those, out of all three subjects, casual and content creator are the most jam packed, but also full of so much diversity because there's
Mm-hmm.
so many ways you can enjoy in both of those, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's, you set yourself, you're not focused on the game competitively and you don't have any plans right now to do that. But I think a big thing to always highlight is that even if you're not playing a game competitively, you can still be the best of the best of what you're doing. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just the way that we get there and the way that we do it obviously varies from player to player. And hearing you say, how you're kind of like aspiring to be this sort of like furry fade, I think is one, it's very, very, possible, right? Anything is possible, especially in the content creator realm. But also
Mm-hmm.
too, it kind of goes to highlight that there's still so much opportunity, beaming out there. I mean, look at
Mm-hmm.
how we both been talking about, you mentioning the furry FPS community. And then, the whole focus of this podcast is to kind of like expand on these things that have not been really breached into yet. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like we're just kind of in the beginnings of it. Like yeah,
Yeah,
we've been here for years on end, but like it still has
in its
hardly
infancy.
flourished.
Yeah, I definitely
So
do agree.
I'm
I,
excited. I'm excited to see what you end up doing with it. Like what sort of
mhm.
goals do you have in mind for your roadmap to achieve
Um,
these sort of like goals?
okay, so I think for Furry FPS in my head right now, we're growing the server. Yes. Um, I need to actually go ahead and like refine everything like role wise and like server wise, and then I kind of want to like start getting the Twitter up there to where people are like kind of using the Twitter to like help gain visibility
Hmm.
for themselves. Um, but also like kind of just like randomly find these like hidden gems that are out there and like kind of just like put some light on those people as well.
Oh yeah.
Um, as for like that, like further into the future, I want to like have it be able to like um be able to give back to the community in some way, shape, or form.
Hmm.
Whether it be like starter builds or something for like PCs, because like some people can't like get computers and such. I know how that is. I like spent like forever without a PC, and it's
Yup.
like, man, I want to play Apex.
Same. Same.
Apex. So like watching you and Baron on Vanquish with your older teammate.
Gosh, dude,
Uh
those
and then
days,
like
man.
yeah. And then like watching Baron on his rank grind, like that was my original like goal was to do ranked, like pred grinding, and then it just kind of like fell off somehow. I don't know.
Somewhere along the way, you feel like
Yeah,
your goals changed or your
yeah.
focus changed.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. It also, kind of happens when you have responsibilities in life to focus on too, while
Yep.
still trying to, do all these things, right? We're trying to be the best that we can be in, the game that we play or just FPS in general. You know,
Mhm.
it's not easy, but it's why when we talk about all this stuff, or yeah, we kind of like reflect on what we've accomplished and what we're looking to accomplish. Yeah, we're doing all this on top of all that, you know.
Mhm.
So it's very very admirable. But I'm also very excited to see um, furry FPS continue to flourish the way that you're describing, because I know that like it, you know, I agree with Shadow and that it has definitely grown a lot. You know, the furry FPS community, but I
Mhm.
still feel like there's still so much potential in how we can, you know, grow as a community, like gain more visibility, and then also, um, I don't want to make it sound like it's like, oh, we deserve respect or anything like that, but like there's definitely
Mhm.
a people kind of see or hear the word furry and they immediately just cringe at it and they go like, ew, you know, like, you
Ew,
know, ew, nope,
furry.
nope, furry, bad, you know, weird, cringe,
Yeah.
whatever. And, you know, then it's like all skill goes out the window. But obviously the actions speak louder than words. And I
Mhm.
think the reality is that like, you know, skills need to outshine the harsh opinions and reality of what others will always think of the community. And
Mhm.
I definitely do
I
think
agree.
that it's a part of why we aren't where we want to be yet, you know?
Mhm.
So it's really really cool to hear you describe what you want out of, you know, furry FPS. And I imagine that like everyone else in the community has a lot of like contributions that they want to make too to
Mhm.
furry FPS. So um I can't wait to see where it gets to in like a year from now or 2 years from now. But
Mhm.
still got some we got work to do. We got work to do.
Yeah, we definitely do, for sure.
I'm actually gonna pop another question over
Mhm.
from chat. This one actually comes from Jada Foxo, and
Hey,
they're
hi.
asking tips for someone who has had almost little to no M&K experience on FPS games and gets overwhelmed easily. What tips would you give them?
Okay, this is coming from someone who, like, jumped into FPSs straight on M&K, no experience whatsoever. It's really just getting the reps in. Um, Playing, like, the game on the input, learning how to utilize your hands, like, separately for your keyboard and mouse, getting a feel for just moving your hands around. Like, that's the first thing. And then you can kind of go into refinement from there. The way that I started to grow more was I'm a big aim trainer. Like, I love aim training, although I don't do it much right now. But I don't think I would be nearly as consistent with aiming as I am without aim training.
I'm very happy you're talking about aim training because I think the only other time I've really talked about aim training during the podcast was with Bobo. And
Mm,
you know, it's another part of why I was so excited to have you on, because I
mm,
wanted to, you know, pick your brain more on aim training as a whole.
mm,
Um, you know, so that being said, this is something I want to delve a little bit further into because I feel like this can apply to any and all skill levels for M&K
mm.
players. But what values do you take away from aim training?
Um, Values. So I guess that would be having repetition.
Mhm.
So the repetitions, as an M&K player, is what makes you a little more consistent. Um, there's no such thing as muscle memory. I'm gonna
Yeah.
say that. So like if you play on the same sense, from game to game, and I feel like I'm kind of like going on a tangent for that.
No, not at
But
all. No, no, no. Like, I mean, hit us with it. Hit us with the rawness, you know?
okay, there's no such thing as muscle memory. Changing your sensitivity will not really like affect your aim. It'll actually help you improve your aim because using high sense will help train your fingertips and wrists. Low sense will train your arm and shoulder, and all of those together will help you aim. Um, like me struggling with my arm right now is really shown in my like static gameplay,
Mm,
static dots, clicking stationary dots with flick accuracy, or having trying to have like good flick accuracy.
mm,
Um, not like training all portions of your aim will definitely hurt you in the long run.
This is great stuff. This is kind of everything that I'm really, really excited to hear about when it comes to aim training,
Mhm.
because I feel like aim trainers are also kind of one of those hot topics in FPS where you have a lot of, bigger, well known figures in the scene who will voice, the silliness of it, or, who
Yeah.
also voice like, oh, no, they're a joke. Oh, no, it doesn't apply to XYZ, yada, yada, yada.
Mhm.
And I think the reality is that, to those that are like us, where we are playing aim trainers and we are finding value in it.
Yeah.
There's obviously a lot of newer players who will listen to those, people that
Mhm.
um, talk kind of like illy of aim training and completely just look away from the significance to it.
Mhm.
So
Um, what I find with people that are like that are people that like try aim training and then get humbled by it, and they go, "I'm good enough at the game anyhow. I don't need aim training."
yes.
It's either that or they don't want to put in the time and effort to um, grind these scenarios when you can be playing the game, which is valid.
Hmm.
You aren't gonna improve at the game unless you play it. Aim training does come like second. Um, it's supplementary, not the main focus. But let me put it this way: Voltaic has these benchmarks that are easy, intermediate, and advanced.
Hmm.
If you are an Apex Legends player, if you make it to intermediate diamond, um, people would say that that puts you around the range of being consistent with a point 0.4 controller player back in like the day.
Really?
Um, and going beyond that is limit breaking and just like pushing yourself to be the best you can be. And I definitely think it does show like benefit in the long run, but definitely do focus on the game.
No, this is all very, very great to hear, because for one, I actually didn't know that about the way that they equate um where you fall comparatively to, what would you say, like a point four?
Like point 0.4 aim assist. I
Yeah.
think I'm trying to remember who exactly like said that. Um I can't remember who it was, but I kind of do want to take that with like a grain of salt because you can be that diamond aimer,
Mm.
um but there's still like just like a lot of inconsistencies um that comes with the territory of being a diamond aimer.
Yeah, yeah. What would you say you currently fall at from the last time that you did the benchmarks?
Okay, so if we're talking about season 4, I
Mm.
was around diamond like masters level. The season 5, the benchmarks are way harder.
Oh,
I
really?
think I'm sitting at like a plat level, but um my tracking is master level
Mm.
and my clicking tends to be plat, and it really does show with my aim. Like my flick accuracy and target acquisition definitely does suffer and like takes away from my tracking aim
Mm.
at times, or like stability in my target switching. So this I want to say it stemmed from me just like only focusing on tracking, smooth tracking and reactive tracking. I didn't like develop the other portions of my aim, and I am feeling the effects of it.
I gotta try the benchmark sometimes. This is
Mhm.
all like really fun stuff to talk about, because I cannot tell you how many times I've had like you, oh no, not you, but like Zudley or some other like aim nerds just be like, have you tried the benchmarks? Have you tried the benchmarks? I'm just like, no, I haven't yet. And my whole like reasoning is more so that like my brain is kind of always focused on utilizing aim trainers
Mhm.
as a way of warming up. And
Mhm.
then, there are definitely times where like when I get into these sort of episodes where I feel like I'm plateauing, and then I try to use aim trainers to kind of correct bad habits or to improve
Mhm.
past the wall that I'm hitting. But from what you're describing and the way that like I'm understanding the benchmarks, there's definitely a lot of value to gain from them. In that, you said yourself that's like static clicking and tracking. Um, Actually, forgive me if I'm like misunderstanding this, but like, would you say there are any benchmarks that do translate um into like let's say like Apex or other games that have helped you?
Like the scenarios?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I would say so. There's a ground plaza. I don't know what they call it in the benchmark scenarios, but it's like tracking someone that is like directly like strafing against you.
Mhm.
And the thing about Kovacs and some of its tracking scenarios is it rewards crosshair uptime, which is
Oh, I see.
how much you can keep your crosshair on the target.
Mhm.
Um, I think that's with the older benchmarks. I think the newer ones are like accuracy based too, so they really reward having high accuracy and consistency.
Mhm.
And Apex is a video game where you need to have consistency. If your aim shakes off, you miss that one bullet, you could lose a fight from it. And I will say that uh definitely like training for consistent smooth tracking has helped me a lot.
Mhm.
And it probably wins me a little bit more gunfights against people who maybe are like shaky and miss like 2 and 3 bullets,
Mhm.
even if they are or their aim is good. So there are examples of people that don't aim train. I think this goes back to the people that don't like aim trainers and
Mhm.
like, it's a waste of time, play the game. These people probably have played the game or played other games that helped to develop their aim. And I would say, like, as a like, if you're in like a newer player wanting to get into FPS,
Mhm.
aim training is like definitely a way to help boost that. It gives you like a head start in
Yeah.
a way. Like it throws you forward along that line and gets you up to speed with people that probably have been playing for like 5 to 10 years.
I agree. I agree completely. Cause my whole philosophy too is if you are like a newer player, I mean, think about how many times we've had friends. We all have friends or acquaintances that will always ask that question of like, I'm new to mouse and keyboard. Is
Hmm.
this game easy to start with? Or how do I start in this game? And I think that it's like, I'm gonna be honest, like it's pretty unappealing to like recommend a aim trainer to someone who's like very,
Hmm.
very new. But I feel like it's also not bad to recommend an aim
Hmm.
trainer because it will kind of give some sort of beginning fundamentals to it. Obviously, it
Hmm.
depends on like how their brain's gonna dissect it. And I think the reality is that like a lot of people are probably gonna like, who are new to MNK, they'd be like, well, I don't want to click on a little like ball or like on a little moving hot dog or whatever they want to describe it as. But I
Hmm.
think if presented from the right person, I think that there
Hmm.
can definitely be some value that we can hopefully exude to the right people about aim
Yeah.
training.
It also has to do with how you aim train, because like if you aim train with no direction, you're not gonna go anywhere. So
Hmm.
like for the people that boot up aim labs and hop on grid shot thinking that's gonna make them like the best aimer ever,
Yeah,
because they watch like a
like tens or
what is it,
whatever,
like yeah,
like
like tens
Timmy.
do. Yep.
Yeah, just
uh
all these like all these like insanely cracked like, I'm just gonna do
mm,
grid shot for like ridiculous scores, but
mm. And then people will go and do that and think that's gonna make them better. That's what I like about Voltaic, is because they have the resources and they have people who actually go and like they've played these scenarios, they know what it fix, they know what the like how to find the weakness and how to like strengthen that, or like just like bring your like mechanics to a new level in ways that you probably don't really like think about.
yeah. No, it's so true. It's all goal driven, right? Like you gotta
Hmm.
you gotta be able to focus on, the right things with purpose, because otherwise you're just, gonna be kind of playing something mindlessly, and then you're gonna
Hmm.
wonder why when you plateau, you're plateauing. You know?
Hmm.
But I'm actually gonna pop another question over. I love talking about aim training, and
Hmm.
being able to talk about it with you is very, very fun. So, well, we could get lost in this for hours. Like,
Yeah, we could.
aim training is a whole different like subject in itself, you know. But
Hmm.
I'm gonna pop this question over from chat. This one comes over from Zumba, and they're asking, do you still reload at the wrong times? Like reload when you had enough to do damage, but get pushed while reloading. How do you break this habit?
Yes, I do find this happen like occasionally. I remember I used to be very bad at it. Like, if I was like holding an angle and I crack somebody like with maybe like 3 bullets, I would reload while pushing,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll just like re-peek out, and then like now I'm like losing 100 HP
Mm-hmm.
because I can't shoot back.
Mm-hmm.
It's like learning the guns, how much ammo you have available to finish the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for me, with the R9, the flatline, I know how many bullets it takes to like down a person, and it's just like a feeling thing now. Uh, so as far as reloading, knowing when it is appropriate to swing, and when to reload.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you do like 20 damage to somebody and you like have 5 bullets left, you're gonna like sit behind the box, hit the reload, then walk out.
Mm-hmm.
Or let's say you hit them for 100 damage, you need to like reload. You can like sit there for a little bit while reloading, and then kind of walk up then
Mm-hmm.
as they're like popping heals. This is also like a game sense like heal timing thing where you know like how long somebody's gonna take to heal.
Yes.
Um, Let me reiterate that again just so I can. Okay, do you still reload? Sometimes reloading is just like RNG too. Like you'll like be empty, need to like reload both your guns, and you get swing, and it's just like there's nothing you can do unless you're playing Ash or Ballistic in this season, and your guns auto reload. Uh,
Wait, Ash gets auto
but
reload right now?
yeah, assault
What? That's
characters, they
crazy.
all get auto reload. So if your gun is empty and you swap to your other gun, I think it's 2 seconds, and then your gun auto reloads. So you like never have to like worry about your gun not being readily available.
Wow, there's a lot apparently I do not know about this season of Apex. I mean, Apex alone, you know. Ah, that's crazy.
Hmm.
I might have to like jump on Apex sometime with you. I'm like long
For
overdue
sure,
for it.
Ski.
I gotta psych myself up. Be like, yo, let's do some Apex.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I guess I could do some like I don't know, like do some mixtape with you or something like that.
Mhm.
Whatever it is that you're mostly playing. I don't know, you reside in mostly.
Um, it's like depending on the day. Like if I'm like getting off of work and I'm just kind of like vibing, mixtape. If I'm like having a free day, and if I don't like have like somebody from North wanting to do like grind ranked,
Mm,
pubs, I'll try to like do solo pubs to get like clips or like gameplay content.
mm.
Um,
Really just depends on like your goal
mhm.
focus, right?
Yeah.
No,
Mhm.
that's totally fair. That means it's the life of doing content creation. You got to kind of be goal driven when you're jumping on a game, right? It's
Mhm.
definitely a big part of why I have been playing certain games for periods of time because my brain's just always like, well, it's content farming time, baby. You know, let's jump on the game and
Mhm.
try to do XYZ thing or something like that. You know, but
Mhm.
I think what would be fun about like jumping on some Apex, and this is actually more pertaining to like running it down with like you or some of the other cracked homies is like, dude, when I know I'm running it down with some cracked gamers, it's gonna be a content farm.
Mhm. For sure,
You
for
know
sure.
that's it's very much more valuable than like me playing solo, mindlessly trying to figure it out with like two other players who also don't
Random.
have eyeballs or something.
Yeah, bro, you have like god poop throwing nades randomly in a master lobby.
Hey, that's a
Like
thing.
no idea.
Dang, there is a lot I missed out on. Apparently, I don't know what's happening in the game anymore.
Randomness. I don't they the game kind of has like some issues right now too, where like zip lines don't like function correctly, or doors just randomly open when they get kicked now.
That's just it sounds like
So
the Apex thing. It's the Apex thing.
mhm.
Well, I actually want to pop over another question to you because we can get like hooked on these subjects
Yeah.
for days, but you know, I
Mhm.
want to celebrate more of the other things that you've also accomplished in your time with Apex. So
Mhm.
tell me about Northern Forces. You've been on Northern Forces now for a year and a half, 2 years almost, I think. Or
I
no,
think it's
has it been
coming up on
shorter?
a year now.
Dude, I
Okay,
got my
so
time all off right now. That's crazy.
it's all good. Northern Forces has been a way for me to like kind of network with a couple more people
Mm,
and get to know like some people outside of the fandom.
mm.
So it's like good to have those like connections, honestly.
I agree. I agree
Um,
completely.
my team lead just has like a wealth of information and knowledge, like if we like ever need it in terms of like content and like always is there to like kind of help us when we need it. As far as like content right now, we recently did like a charity event for the wildfires that happened in Los Angeles recently.
Oh, really? Oh, dude, that's
Uh
awesome.
yeah, I think we raised like together almost like 700, $800
Yo, that's awesome.
besides the board.
Congrats.
Um but as far as Apex goes right now, it's kind of like in a hiatus state right now. Some of our members are going through their own things, or
Mm,
like Apex isn't really enjoyable, so I'm like kind of expecting to like see a shift
mm.
here soon. So we're probably gonna like shuffle some things up. I do know that we definitely need to get back in gear. It's just that Apex is like in a state where it's just like content is either you are dropping like high kill games, you're a
Mm,
competitive player, or you are like doing like tips and like tricks. That actually
mm.
just reminded me of something that I need to bring up.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah. No,
um
fire away at it. Fire away at it. Just set a
yeah,
pin in
I need
it.
to I need to bring it up with my team, but essentially we had this thing where we were gonna make tips and tricks, and each member was gonna like delegate, not delegate, but like create those tips and like kind of like push it out onto the TikToks and YouTube shorts.
I see.
And I need to like actually like finish mine. It had to do with like how to effectively play Wraith, and that
Oh,
has to
okay.
change. That changed now because the Wraith buffs. So she's a lot different now than she was back then.
Yeah.
Um, but Northern Forces definitely has a focus on like community and togetherness
Mm.
for sure. That is one thing I will say.
That's really
We
really
just need
cool.
to we just need to be more active in the actual like content space a little bit more for the Apex side. That is, our COD side is popping off though.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh, that's awesome. I was actually about to ask
yeah,
about like what other games or things is Forces focused on. So that's
yes.
cool.
So they are. They I think they used to primarily be like a COD like kind of trick shotting org.
Mm.
And then they like started introducing new games later on.
That's sick.
But COD has always been like a big portion of North. Um, and yeah, I think we had a Valorant team. We have a couple of other teams. I need to like actually look at them again. But yeah, we kind of just been everybody in North Apex has kind of been doing their own thing as of right now.
Oh, that's cool. It happens. Like I feel like all teams slash orgs, they hit that point where lifes. And
Yeah,
then also like shift in interest in games also happens too. We're not
yep.
bound to play
Marvel
a game forever.
Rivals.
So is Rivals that big one right now?
Yeah, a couple peeps play Marvel Rivals like exclusively right now.
Oh, for sure. That is a very interesting game too. So like, I want to revisit the thing that you're want to bring up shortly ago, but um the one thing that I think you brought up, it's all relative to the subject, is when it comes to focusing on the content side of a game. In this case, you just mentioned Apex, right? You have to get out this Wraith video that you've been working on, how to play Wraith.
Yeah.
I think the difficulty in live service games nowadays is everything isn't forever. It's
Mhm.
subject to changing, whether it's like in a week, 2 weeks, a month, whatever the
Yeah.
big updates are. And it's actually a very, very difficult challenge in Fortnite content because the game is changing literally every single week. It is a constant change. And so, it's very fascinating to hear how it is with like Apex since Wraith has gone through so many changes. And you said that she is changing again or she already changed?
She already changed. She's like better now. Like if you knock a person, you get a attack refresh.
Oh, that's
So
what it is. Okay.
you get two Qs. The Naruto run is back.
I did see that. I saw so many clips about it on Twitter when it came
Mhm.
back.
You get to choose when you exit your phase.
What? Wait, that's how that works
Mm.
now?
Yep. So you hit your phase, and then whenever you want to get out of it, you click mouse one, and
Wow.
you can just pop out.
That's crazy. Okay. Is
There's
she
actually
pretty busted or like how does she
no.
stack up
If
against like all the other characters now?
she's like once all the good characters, once those three have been banned, then you choose race.
Oh, there's character bans.
Yeah, mostly for comp. It's only for comp though.
Oh, I see. I
Um,
see.
but like as a solo player, Ash, Ballistic, are the top two. Ash, you just dash around. I literally like was like having pain and suffrage because I was playing solo on E District,
Hmm.
and you get Ash tethered, you queue away, think you're safe, and there's another Ash tether, and then there's like two Ashes dashes on you, and then you're just like kind of ah.
Wow. Yeah, game is it's very relentless from the sounds of it right now with how punishing it is. Cause also I am aware that the TDK is lower too.
Yes,
So
it is um a lot faster to die.
mm,
Like you can get one clipped before you turn around sometimes. But what I do think it does is it allows like people like good players to kind of like capitalize on like being able to fight multiple people and get damage out.
hmm.
Whereas in the past it's always been like a long fight
Yeah.
where like if you don't have like a movement route like zip lines, it's kind of like hard to throw off people and like get consistent damage
I see, I see. So it's
because
good trade-offs all around.
yeah.
It's just very, very different. It's jarring, especially to, OG Apexers like yourself.
Hmm.
That's totally fair. I mean, it's all a part of why like I hear about, all these things and then like, when I watch some Apex from time to time, I'm just like, man, do I boot this game up? Do I try it again?
Yeah.
um
uh,
so I'm actually very, very curious about this. I didn't want to ruin your train of thought either, so I'll pop this question
mhm.
in a moment. But what did you want to revisit the thing you were talking about with
um
the content side? It was when we were talking about like Northern Forces, and then you were talking about the Wraith video and such.
the content like having to do with like how you kill games or a comp player,
Yeah,
is it
yeah, yeah.
that section? Yeah, I feel like all the content right now for Apex is like all that kind of the same. So it's kind of like
Mm,
hard to do anything outside of it
yeah.
without requiring like a big follower base for like customs and like running um like weird challenges.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's
So yeah.
Apex and Fortnite are very, very similar to each other in that it's very, very hard to grow in a game that cemented itself in like a 5+ years time frame. You know,
Yeah.
it's like a
Yeah,
lot of
trying to
viewers have kind
compete.
of seen that before. They've been there, done that.
Yeah. Or trying to compete with people's favorites already. It's like you have to really, really stand out to I guess amass a following.
Yup. It's hard, but I'm glad we're talking about this because this is also one of those other subjects that I feel is it's a very, very like kind of reality check, but like also a very, very big one. Um, and since you're a content creator on Northern Forces, and I've been discussing a lot around like your goals and what your future aspirations are. Um, I'm gonna actually kind of expand on it a little bit more.
Mhm.
And want to bring up who are some big inspirations to you. I'm actually gonna do a two-parter of this. So
Mhm.
who are big inspirations to you that are not furry FPSers, and then who are big inspirations to you that are furry FPSers? We can start with the first one
Okay.
though.
So first one, definitely has to be Fade. For sure.
Oh yeah,
Like, bro's game sense is next level.
yeah.
Like, the ability he has to look at a situation, plan out like where he's gonna move and how to capitalize on like enemies' mistakes
Mhm.
is like superb. But he's also gotten a lot better with his gun skill, as well as a player.
Yeah.
Um, but definitely Fade for non-furry.
Mhm.
Um, as far as furry players, when it comes to like just general like FPSs, definitely got to go with doryuuZ
What?
for sure.
Nah. Dang,
Definitely
dude.
got to go.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna start rewording this because everyone that's been on the podcast has been so absurdly sweet, and I'm just like, okay. I'm gonna have to black out my name now. Because I mean, like on the real though, I'm very very grateful.
Mhm,
Especially because like I do look at myself and I compare, not in an unhealthy way where I'm like, wow,
mhm,
I suck. It's just more like a dude, like how much talent is out here. I gotta like level up or
mhm,
step it up. Um,
mhm,
but I'm very very grateful to even be considered because dude, look at you. Like look at how much you've
mhm,
grown and where you are now. And I think about all the other people that have been on the podcast, and I'm just like, dude, every one of y'all is insanely cracked, and it's cool to
mhm,
see how insanely talented y'all are, and like hear about who inspires you. Because
mhm,
it's that circle of inspiration, right? Like you get
mhm.
inspired, you inspire right back. It's just an endless
Ye-
cycle.
I know for me, for like me watching you, it was definitely um aim in your strafing. And
Mm,
then I also had like I guess Baron,
yeah, yeah.
just like his general like game sense and attitude towards the game.
Mm.
I'm trying to think of who else.
How could we not like
Bobo's
listening
a
to
good
that?
one.
ASMR voice.
Yes, your radio voice.
Yeah. Sorry, were you saying
Uh,
Bobo?
yeah, Bobo's like drive and competitive is just like unmatched right now.
Yup.
Like,
Bobo's going
just
places for sure, dude.
fucking grinder, bro.
Yeah.
Um, there's like I feel like I'm like blanking on other people right now. I know there's a lot more people that definitely have like I've like watched them. Like, I remember like looking up the Shadow too when I was like first starting out. Shadow was insane, like, as well. It
Yeah,
still is
agreed.
to this day.
Agreed.
Shadow, Lynx, like all the other Apex Fuzz. Everybody's like come so far
Everyone brings something to the
right now.
table, right? Like
Hmm.
whether it be like personality wise and then just play style and yeah, just like so many different things. Like I mean, you said it yourself, dude. Like how crazy is it that like we can look at, I know we're like very much focused on Apex, specifically,
Yeah.
but like that's like in a good way. Like it's crazy
Hmm.
how many players are that are still in Apex. It's kind of weird to even say it too, because like I think about like how much I've not been playing Apex, and I feel so out
Hmm.
of touch with like like where some players are in the game, and yeah, y'all are still committed to the game too. It's admirable.
Yeah,
It's
and
very
not to mention
admirable.
like the random people that like are popping up. I'm just like, where have you been this entire time? Why have you not been like on my radar?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a there's a couple of like casual like gamers too, like Reese Remkun.
Mm,
There's like Hound Huskio.
mm.
There's EMP, the Protogen. There's like so many like, well, EMP is like a competitive like player.
Dang.
But
Okay.
yeah,
Wait.
there's
So
like
these are
so
all names
many like
I'm like
people.
jotting down right now because like I mean this actually is a part of the other question I was gonna ask, which is um I want you to keep on like listing off the peeps because it's all a part
Ye-
of it. But who are some insanely talented sleeper FPSers in the community, in the furry community, that you want to like
Um,
commemorate? Yeah.
okay, Shadzi for one.
Oh yeah.
My homie Milo, who's been like coming up more.
Mm.
She's been getting a lot better. There's Basil.
Mm,
Like I found them randomly because it was like I was like, okay, what furry is streaming Apex right now? I need to watch somebody.
mm.
And there's more. There's like some like CS:GO players that are like, I'm like, wow, you use like are like insanity.
Dang, you're listing off some names
Um,
I've actually not heard of. This is sick. This is
yeah, I've
exactly what
been.
I love to hear.
That's like kind of like I'm doing with the Twitter is I'm kind of like just going out to go find these people
Yeah.
and add them to this list.
Mm.
Like I can give you the list.
Yeah, no,
But
that'd be great.
there's like a ton of people, a ton.
No, this makes me so happy. Like you have no idea. I'm like smiling from like side to side, dude. Like I just hearing how big the community is. I mean, I think Shadow was saying it, a little bit ago that like yeah, the community's like grown so much,
It
Because
really
I will
has.
not forget when yeah, like Apex first came out. It was like obviously the game and everyone
Mm,
was in it. And even though everyone was in it, the community was so small at the time.
mm,
And now it's like, now look at like all the players you just mentioned. I'm like, dude, I don't even know who all these players are respectively, Like and
mm,
just makes you that much more excited and curious to check them out and see who else is also like, not discovered or like, just coming from the woodworks.
mm.
That's sick, dude. That is sick. Well, I'm actually very, very curious then, because this also does like delve into one of the other questions that I very much love to touch on during the podcast. And that
Mm,
when you did first start out, because I know you said that Fate is obviously your biggest inspiration right
mm.
now. Who would you say was your favorite? Did that change or was it still the same when you were
Um,
first starting out like M&K or just FPS in general?
like from the beginning or like
Yeah, from the
just like
very beginning, like when you think back to like, man, I'm picking up like gaming, FPS for the very first time. Like
Shroud
who's
and
it?
CS:GO.
Yeah, let's go Shroud. Hell yeah, dude. Shroud enjoyer.
Because if Apex didn't come out, I would honestly be a CS:GO player. Um,
Really?
I would watch Shroud play on YouTube, like play Rainbow Six Siege, play PUBG, play like he played Fortnite for a little bit, and
I
then
remember that
just like
actually.
CS:GO. Like I would watch him like while I was at school, and I was like, I really want to do gaming. And then Apex came out. Um, I actually don't remember how I stumbled upon you. I'm actually so sad.
No, no, no,
But
no, no, no offense taken.
mm, from the beginning of Apex, it like start to shift to you, and then I was watching Baron.
I remember trying to keep up with Baron too, man. Like it's always
Yeah.
been that way. It's always. I think even now, Baron could like jump on the game. We could like run it down together. I feel like I'd be trying to keep up with
Mm.
him. That's how it always be.
Yeah.
It's really cool to hear. I love this subject so much because yeah, it's a big way of being able to like really really highlights how we all kind of start, because I
Mm.
think a big part of this podcast that's always been such a heavy focus of mine is you know it being inviting for everyone, because
Mm.
how many times have we seen or been around someone in the past who we watch their gameplay and we're just like, oh my god, like they're so cracked, like it's kind of intimidating but also like, man, how do I get there, right? And
Yeah.
and now here we are, like, years later, and we're pretty proud of like where we are as, with like all of our hard work and whatnot. And
Mm.
just have to always remind that, we gotta help our past selves, to
Mm.
get to this current self state and not
Mm.
not be um, a intimidating standoffish like type player, especially because
Mm.
now you're advocating furry FPS, and yeah, this podcast continues to be, yeah, at least for me, it feels very very much at home. It feels very good to be able
Mm.
to like talk about these things that we don't get to talk about on the regular. So
Mm.
it's very very exciting to hear about like where the beginnings were for you. and
Mhm.
I'm excited to see like where you continue to go because like hearing you talk about like all your goals for not just like Apex but like furry FPS and stuff. It's got me
Mhm.
got me really excited. I think I said this earlier. What like a year or two from now, we gotta see where it's gonna be.
Yeah. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be a trip.
Yeah, man. Um, well, you mentioned like a bunch of other really talented like players that I have to like check out as well. Um,
Mhm.
normally I'd say like, yo, who else you got that you want to like get onto the podcast or whatever, but
Uh,
I've been building a list, every single episode. This list is crazy, so it's
mhm.
definitely gonna be fun to have them on, but also, I always give a very open invitation to uh coming back onto the podcast because it's
Mhm.
not a one-time thing. We don't know how we're gonna be a year, 2 years from now, a few months from now. We might be the same. We might be different. We might have
Mhm.
be might be playing a different game. We might be you know someone different in regards to like, oh, we beat our personal best or we achieved this and that and that. We don't know how
Mhm.
that's gonna look in the future. So um, but the invitation, the door is always open for you, man.
Mhm. Yeah, I do appreciate that.
Yeah, dude.
Uh,
Um, so we are, believe it or not, we are already at like an hour 45. Isn't it crazy how fast time?
really?
Yeah, isn't it crazy how
Jesus.
fast like time goes when you're doing the podcast?
Actually, I
It's
I also
fun.
feel like I kind of like was kind of like scatterbrain a little, like just kind of like going off on random directions.
No,
So I
no, I
do
mean,
apologize for that.
no, you don't have to apologize. No, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, this is the fun thing about this is it's a very casual conversation. While
Mhm.
still trying to focus on like some tasks and things at hand, but
Mhm.
never at all should you do I want you or anyone else in the future to feel that way because this is fun
Mhm.
stuff, man. Like I feel like we have covered a lot, and before we do wrap things up because I also don't want to hold you um like busy for the rest of the day.
Mhm.
um are there like any final thoughts that you have around things that you maybe jotted down you want to talk about or things you want to bring up, like the mic and the floor is yours.
Um. Hmm. I kind of like. Hmm.
If you need
I don't have really
something to
anything.
like pick off of too, I'm always open to presenting some other things, man, because
Yeah.
I got us with the questions. um
Yeah.
so this one's actually a very big one that I love to talk about as well. um and that's what are some like aim training slash routines that you do to warm up for a session?
Um. So I actually like have I built playlists specifically for that.
Mm,
I just call it like Aedenful's like reactivity.
mm,
It's really just like a crazy like playlist where like I kind of like have to force myself to like be like the least tense I can, but also enough to be like reactive.
mm,
Like LDDH fixed is like one of my favorites. Although like in certain scenarios, if you give that to like a player who doesn't know how to do it, it can build bad habits. But
yep.
I also do have playlists that are built by people in Voltaic. Maddie has playlist.
Oh, I love Maddie's stuff.
Um, I think why am I forgetting her name? Viscose has
Viscose,
some
yeah, my
things.
goats. Yeah, I love Viscose.
But yeah, there's a lot of playlists that focus on very specific things.
Mm,
Um, and yeah, it just really depends on like how you're feeling for that day.
yeah.
Oh yeah, there's also a lot of R5. I do a lot of R5.
Oh,
Um,
R5. Yeah, we haven't talked about that at all too, but that is also I feel like such a valuable tool when it comes to aim training because how we were just talking about earlier that people just want to like play the game and
yeah.
be in that element.
Hmm.
R5 is freaking phenomenal because like yeah, you're playing the game that you want to warm up in. You're just doing it in a more controlled environment, but it's still
Yeah.
giving you what like recoil practice and then
Hmm.
all the visual cues and clutter and everything. So I think
Yeah.
R5 is phenomenal. Every time I watch
Hmm.
someone else playing it.
Yeah. So like it goes back to that thing I was talking about earlier when Jay asked his question,
Mm,
the density and reps.
mm,
Like as an MNK player, you want to get as many reps in as possible. And as you make mistakes and as you get frustrated, that's where the learning starts to happen.
yeah.
Like if you're not getting frustrated, um if you're not having trouble,
Mm,
you probably aren't learning. You aren't growing.
yeah. It's a very, very good good piece of advice to go off of. I very much reflect a lot of the same values when it comes to um taking, like, let's say for example, like an L, where
Hmm.
you obviously, it doesn't ever feel good to lose, but there's value from
Yeah.
that, right?
Hmm.
And if, as long as you can find value in it, then I feel like
Yeah.
you've already leveled up because you're
Yeah.
trying to understand it from a different scope.
Yeah. I know this is one thing that like you'll see pro players do this like as they are playing the game. If they lose one way, they'll go silent
Mm,
and they'll go, oh man, I should have done this.
mm,
And that's already like the first step of like correcting a mistake and like internalizing how to like build like um those like green check boxes for like the playbook
mm.
for like you playing the game, like building your game sense.
Yeah.
So that's yeah,
Do you find
having
yourself
that
doing
type of
that?
mindset.
Like at all?
Yes. Yes, I do. I do it a lot, especially when I'm doing solo queue.
Mm,
If I'm like playing in a video game and I die in a way that I'm like, man, I should have just like walked behind the box.
mm,
This person would have had to walk in the open rather than me sliding out at them
mm,
while reloading like a shotgun or something.
mm. Yeah.
And it's a very in the moment thing, and I feel like it's like the first telltale sign that you are like in the right direction, having a good mindset for growth.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm so happy to be able to discuss these things, and again, this just goes to show that there's a reason why you have such a positive, healthy mental. You have a very, very good approach on it, and I think it's something that a lot of players need to think about and need to hear and see. Um, I actually was oh god, I'm trying to remember the YouTuber's name, but there was a video I was watching about how to avoid tilt, or how to basically like deal with tilt.
It
And
was probably Struth or one of the E athlete labs videos.
yeah, man, oh, it's so good. Like, whenever these things get brought up during the podcast, yeah, I have to always set a little reminder to link it, so that way
Hmm.
others can find these tools, because that's also a big part of this, is
Hmm.
that the educational value. Which
Yeah.
also brings me to my other point that I want to bring up with you is, do you have any like future goals of doing like any other guides outside of just like your Wraith guide that you were mentioning? Like any learning guides, tip videos, things like that.
As I get better, I kind of want to make a guide on like cover usage because a lot of
Mm.
players don't understand like how to use cover like effectively, and it's
Yeah.
one thing that I've been like recently like more perfecting.
Mm.
And it like helps me win gunfights. I do have that kind of like brain off moment where I'll do something dumb and walk out in the open, but
Yeah.
we learn.
It's all part of
But
the
yeah,
learning.
that's one thing that I've thought about.
Mm.
And, um, and if I get to the point where I can like start to solo like my games and get high kills consistently,
Mm.
maybe throw in a guide for how to play for high kills, high damage.
Mm. Oh, that'd be great actually. I don't remember the last time I saw a guide like that. I feel like it's been a while, because
Yeah.
again, the game's how old now, so
Yeah.
it's like easy to always kind of fall into this like mindset of, oh, someone else has done it before,
Mhm.
whatever. But the reality is that, like, no, there are people out there that want to watch that kind of stuff.
I think the only relevant one that I've seen is Hollows.
Hollows, yeah. Is Hollow still playing the game that much right now?
I think so. I haven't really caught up with like a Hollow stream in a minute.
Yeah, same.
But I think he still plays Apex.
Oh, it's cool. It's cool to see that some of the OGs are, either still playing or like at least coming back. But
Yeah, Lyric. Lyric started playing it some more.
I
Asu
saw.
apparently came back.
Yup, Asu's. I watch Asu pretty much all the time. So when he was playing it, I was like, what? Dang,
Yeah,
someone wake me
I
up.
was I was actually late to the Asu wave. I don't know how that happened,
Hmm.
but I was late to the Asu wave, and then like I saw Fade coming up, so I was just always watching Fade.
Did you ever
Asu
hear
like
about how? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
uh Asu definitely has like insane mechanics, but I think Fade's brain
Hmm.
is what makes him like insane.
I agree. No, I agree with that entirely. It's he like you were saying with Fade. You know, Fade's game sense has always been very very sharp, and it just continues to like level up. Right, like it just
Yeah.
leagues, and that's very much been Asu. Just like he, I think his blow up was that what you're saying, and then
Hmm.
also his like whole advocating of stylish movement in the early days
Yeah.
when everyone was moving very
Like
very bot like.
yeah, just walking in a straight line, taking the zip straight up, bro. Oh my god, firefighters going down the zip line.
Gosh, dude, it's
That was a
absolutely
time.
very very different time for sure. Um,
Well,
now the one thing I was gonna say though is did uh did you ever hear Baron and I talk about like how we first discovered Asu?
no,
So
I don't think so.
very very short story. It was just in like season 0, and I think it was like me, Baron, and I think it was Dibin. Dibin was playing with us. Yeah,
Mm,
we were like running it down together, and we oh no, I'm sorry, it was Baron and I, and then we got Asu on our team, and he had just gotten signed to NRG apparently. Like it was like a few days before then,
mm,
and we I think he died in Skulltown. Baron and I had his banner, and then the closest revive from where Zone was pulling was like near the middle of the map,
mm,
and he like AFK'd. He comes back from AFK, and then he like gets back and he's getting revived. And if I recall correctly, I think we won that game. I think,
mm.
but I remember Dibin was like in the chat at the time. He's just like, man, I don't know if this NRG guy is real. Like, let me check him out. And then he checks him out. It's like, oh, that's actually an NRG player. And that's how we went to his stream. I kid you not, I remember this like so clearly. He was like 70 something viewers at the time. Little baby
Sheesh,
Asu. And then that's when
baby
Baron and I
Asu.
started watching him. And then, the rest was all history from there. And then yeah,
Mm.
obviously fast forward and now he's like not even on there anymore. He's like Sentinels and playing other games and yep. So
Bro is living the variety content creator life.
for real, dude. Just playing whatever, hits his interest.
Yep, yep.
Well, before we go ahead and actually wrap things up, because dude, we're about to hit the 2 hour mark. Um,
Sheesh.
I know we actually
Bro.
just kind of like touched on this like a little bit ago, but yeah, did you have any other like closing thoughts or like any bits of advice or tips that you wanted to give to any and all skill levels of players?
Yes, actually.
Yes,
If
please
you
hit
like,
us with it. Hit us with it.
if you have an opportunity to go anywhere or do or grind, if you have the time, don't just like skip out on it and be like, I'm not maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I'm not like good enough. Because you're only gonna get better by playing, and don't be me and miss out on opportunities because you thought you weren't good enough.
I love that so much. No, thank you so much for sharing that. That's that I feel like is a dose of reality. That's we sometimes just need to hear from someone else, especially because like
Mhm.
we are constantly hitting our own walls, and hearing someone like you say that is very inspiring. And I thank you for sharing that like so much, Aiden.
Mhm.
You have been such an amazing guest to have on here. Obviously, we didn't cover everything, and we will never cover everything. But I think what
Mhm.
we did cover is pretty damn awesome. And like I said before, the door's open for you.
Mm.
If and whenever we want to do another episode, just because
Yeah, for sure.
there's just so much, like I feel like the next time we do an episode like this, we will have done so much more. And
Mm.
like I said, I'm excited to see the furry FPS community continue to grow, and also just the Discord and what you are working really, really hard behind the scenes to bring to fruition. So
Mm.
no, just a few final things before we wrap up this episode. But for uh, for the furry FPS Discord, just kind of bring it up to some of the folks who either are tuning in just now or didn't catch us earlier. But the furry FPS community Discord is something that you, Aiden, and many others have been banding together um, to get a community on a
Mm.
Discord. And I don't want to like take the mic away from you on this, but
Mm.
what did you want to give quick little reminder to what it is and what its purpose is serving?
Yeah. Okay. So the Furry FPS Discord is supposed to be like a general hub for people or for furries that play FPSs. Uh FPSs in general. I mean, you can play other games too. It doesn't really have to be like FPS, but it definitely is FPS centered. Its purpose is to help you meet new people and kind of like create this center where we can all like celebrate each other in our games and our experiences and journeys. Um, as well as maybe like kind of like I guess in a way like help like uplift each other more.
I love that,
Um,
man. I love it.
yeah.
Um, no, and actually, well, one last closing thought I had on that is how does one join the furry FPS Discord?
There is the Furry FPS Twitter, which you can find by going to the Furry FPS or searching Furry FPS.
I'll link it
We have the
in the
tag.
video for this too. By the way,
Yep, yep. And it should be. I think I need to actually make it the pin post, but there's a post with the Discord link because I'll have to get it if I wanted to post it like in chat somewhere. But
yeah, feel free to post it
definitely
too,
on
even after
the
this episode ends.
yeah on the Furry FPS Twitter because I plan on expanding on the Twitter more
Mm,
to be used as like a way of uh garnering more attention towards players.
mm.
So I have a list that's constantly growing with players that I find on Twitter. I know some people don't use Twitter, so I've also gone out and I think I've snagged the blue sky tag.
Sweet,
And I
sweet.
need to like do some other things. But I've also had like bigger plans like having like a YouTube setup maybe where like people can submit clips for like different things like whether it be funny cracked clips
Mm.
just like in the community everybody like showcasing themselves in the YouTube.
I love it, man. I love it so much, and like I said earlier, I'm definitely going to be hitting you up about this, man. I want to be
Hmm.
involved more. I want to be involved.
Yeah.
Love what you're doing. Um, cool. Well, let's go ahead and let's conclude today's episode. And just wanted to say a big ol' thank you yet again, Aiden. It has been an absolute pleasure having you on episode 6 of the Aiming With podcast.
Hmm.
Um, if you and anyone else here in the audience would love to tune back into it, we have Aiming With every Friday, 3:30 PST. And if you guys do end up missing the live stream of it, we upload the previous episode or the latest episode every Monday at 9 a.m. PST. So that way we are trying to make it as easily accessible to catch as possible. Again, for those of you who didn't get a chance to catch much about Aiden, you heard it here first. Aiden is such a talented, insanely cracked player and insanely cracked Apex Legendser. and just all around, just mechanically and mentally gifted person. So, thank you so much again for taking the time to join us today, Aiden. Appreciate you a ton, dude. And everyone here in chats, thank you guys all so much. I will catch you guys all in the next episode. Thank you all.